Eric Hunter, riding hard on his horse, racing against the setting sun. He's got to cross a dense forest before nightfall. And let me tell you, this forest isn't exactly a picnic spot. It's dark, it's creepy, and it's the only way to reach the kingdom of Elderglow. Eric's pushing his horse to the limit, hooves pounding the dirt, when all of a sudden, boom, the horse trips on something, flies into the air, and crashes hard. Eric's thrown off, hitting the ground so bad it feels like every bone in his body's shattered. Pain shoots through him, his head spinning, and then darkness. He's out cold. When Eric comes to, he bolts upright, wincing. His body's still aching, his head's pounding, but he's not in the forest anymore. No, this is some wide open field. Off to one side, there's this stunning garden, surrounded by towering stone walls, with mountains in the distance. Eric, stunned, forgets his pain for a second and stands up. That's when he hears footsteps behind him. He spins around and sees this old man hobbling toward him, leaning on a big staff. The guy's got a long white beard, white hair, white turban, and a white robe with a beaded necklace that screams wise old sage. But his face? Not a single wrinkle. It's like a young guy's face on an old man's body. Weird, right? The old man smiles and says, "You're Eric Hunter, the greatest trickster around." Eric's like, "Thanks for the compliment, but who are you, and where am I?" The old man introduces himself as Baba Roshan, a helper of the helpless, gifted with special powers. He explains that when Eric's horse tripped, it broke its neck and died. Eric was knocked out, badly hurt, and alone in that forest. He'd have been torn apart by wild animals. So Baba Roshan used his powers to whisk him away to this field, saving his life. Eric's got questions. He was headed to Elderglow's king to rescue his daughter, Princess Zara, who's been kidnapped by a sorcerer. This field's nowhere near Elderglow. So what's the deal? Baba Roshan points to the walled garden and says, "That's the lair of the sorcerer who took Zara. His name's Kakota, but folks call him the Dog Sorcerer because of his vicious magical hound. Kakota's planning to force Zara into marriage tonight, and she's sworn she'd rather die than marry him." Baba brought Eric here to save time, but his powers don't work against sorcerers, so Eric's got to do the heavy lifting. Before Eric can ask more, Baba vanishes into thin air, like he was never there. Eric's not one to stand around. He heads for the garden, but those walls are massive. No gates, no doors, just solid stone. He digs into his trusty satchel, pulls out a rope with a hook, and tosses it over the wall. The hook catches, and he climbs up. No magic slippers this time, just good old-fashioned grit. At the top, he sees this breathtaking garden with a grand house on one side. He slides down the rope, leaves it hooked, and heads for the house. That's when a beautiful young woman steps out, shocked to see him. She demands to know who he is and how he got in. Eric asks her the same question. She says she's Princess Zara, the king of Elderglow's only daughter, kidnapped by Kakota. Eric tells her he's here to rescue her, sent by her father. Zara's relieved, but warns him Kakota's out now, due back by evening, planning to force her into marriage. She'd rather die than let that happen. Eric says, "Let's get out of here," but Zara points out there's no gate in those walls. No problem, Eric thinks. They'll use his rope. But when they get back to the wall, the rope's gone, vanished. And before he can figure that out, a terrifying howl cuts through the air. It's Kakota's hound, a massive, bloodthirsty beast with glowing red eyes and razor-sharp teeth. Zara panics and climbs a nearby tree. The hound's charging, and Eric scrambles up the same tree just in time. The beast leaps, snapping at him. Quick as a flash, Eric pulls a magical net from his satchel and throws it over the hound. It's tangled, thrashing, but trapped. Eric grabs his sword, jumps down, and with one clean swing, takes the beast's head off. Zara climbs down, trembling but safe. Eric stuffs the net back in his satchel, and they head back toward the house. But then, out of nowhere, this hideous figure in a sorcerer's robe appears. It's Kakota. Before he can react, Eric hurls a dagger with all his might, striking Kakota square in the chest. The sorcerer lets out a blood-curdling scream, collapses, and starts writhing. Suddenly, thick smoke fills the air. When it clears, the garden, the walls, the hound's body, everything's gone. Just an open field remains, with Eric's rope lying there like nothing happened. Eric realizes the hound held Kakota's life force. Killing it weakened the sorcerer, and the dagger finished him off. He thanks his lucky stars for that. Then Baba Roshan reappears, congratulating Eric on his victory. It tells Eric and Zara to close their eyes. They do, and it feels like they're floating. When Baba tells them to open their eyes, they're standing in front of Elderglow's royal palace. The king's overjoyed, showers Eric with gold and treasures, and Zara gives him a special reward of her own. With his satchel heavier than ever, Eric heads back home, grinning ear to ear, ready for his next adventure.